A muscle jumped in Caden's jaw. His hand twitched at his side, as if fighting the impulse to reach for me. "And now you expect me to smile while you parade your new bride before the court?" I continued, my voice dropping to a whisper that carried more weight than a shout. "I won't be ignored anymore. I need to know if you'll choose me, or if I'm just another piece for your family's power." "The wine is getting warm," he said instead, gesturing to the glass in his hand. "Shall we return to our guests?" Something changed inside me. In the early days of our marriage, he'd taken pride in teaching me to navigate court politics, to conceal my thoughts, to play the long game. Now I realized he'd created a formidable opponent. "Of course, my prince," I said, my voice carrying just far enough. "I wouldn't dream of keeping you from your duties. After all, my eyes met his with startling directness. One of us should honor their vows." Without waiting for his response, I turned to go when his voice stopped me. "It's never been about you, Elara. It's about duty, not feelings. You should understand that by now." The words landed with devastating precision. I felt something vital break inside my chest, not my heart, but something deeper. The last fragile thread of hope I had clung to. "I understand perfectly," I said, my voice suddenly calm, the storm of emotion clearing into terrible clarity. "You've answered my question." Caden's expression shifted, uncertainty flickering across his features. "Elara." "Your Highness," I corrected him, taking a deliberate step backward. The small distance between us felt suddenly vast. "I believe Lady Isolde is waiting for her wine." I turned away, refusing to let him see the tears that threatened. The crystal chandeliers above blurred into stars as I blinked rapidly, fighting for control. The whispers followed me as I moved through the crowd. Courtiers pretended not to stare, but I felt their eyes pitying, curious, calculating. Near the eastern entrance, Thorn appeared at my side. "Princess," he murmured, offering his arm with quiet dignity, "allow me to escort you." I accepted gratefully, letting him guide me toward the private royal corridor. As we reached the threshold, I couldn't help glancing back. Across the glittering expanse of the hall, Caden stood exactly where I had left him, his expression unreadable from this distance. Lady Isolde approached him, taking the wine glass from his hand with a triumphant smile. "Elara's POV." "Lady Elara," Queen Arenelle's voice cut through the corridor like a blade of ice. "Just the person I was looking for." I froze, my shoulders tensing involuntarily. The Queen never sought me out unless she intended to inflict some new humiliation. 3 years of marriage to her son had taught me that much. "Your Majesty," I curtsied, the gesture as perfect as years of practice could make it. "How may I be of service?" Her smile was a beautiful, terrible thing, all perfect teeth and cold eyes. "The king requires these documents delivered to his private chambers immediately." She extended a leather folio embossed with the royal crest. "They're quite sensitive. I can't trust just anyone with them." It was a trap. We both knew it. The king's private chambers were strictly off-limits to anyone but his personal servants and family members. For me to enter uninvited was a breach of protocol that could result in serious consequences. "Surely a royal messenger would be more appropriate," I began. "Are you refusing a direct request from your queen?" she interrupted, her voice honey-sweet but threaded with steel. Several courtiers paused in their conversations nearby, openly eavesdropping, exactly as she'd planned. "Of course not, Your Majesty." I took the folio, my fingers brushing against hers. She withdrew her hand quickly as though my touch might contaminate her. "I'll deliver them at once." "See that you do." She turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, and Lady Elara, the king despises tardiness almost as much as he despises incompetence." With that parting barb, she glided away, satisfaction evident in every step. The courtiers resumed their conversations, but their eyes followed me as I made my way toward the king's wing of the palace. The royal guards posted outside, the king's chambers regarded me with suspicion. "His Majesty is expecting these documents," I said, projecting a confidence I didn't feel. The older guard frowned, but he stepped aside. "Be quick about it, my lady. The king is attending the council meeting in the East Wing and won't appreciate unauthorized visitors in his absence. My heart sank. Of course the king wasn't there. The queen had set me up perfectly, sending me where I had no right to be, ensuring I'd be discovered and disgraced. "I'll leave these on his desk and depart immediately," I promised, stepping into the forbidden chamber. The door closed behind me with a heavy thud. I stood for a moment, allowing my eyes to adjust to the dim light filtering through heavy velvet curtains. The king's private study was impressive walls lined with leather-bound volumes, maps of conquered territories, and the mounted heads of exotic beasts. The massive oak desk dominated the center of the room, its surface neat and orderly. I placed the folio precisely in the center of the desk, task completed. I should leave now before anyone discovered me here. But something caught my eye. A drawer, slightly ajar, with the corner of a parchment peeking out. I tried to ignore it, already turning toward the door, when a flash of gold lettering on the parchment stopped me. My name, Elara. Not Lady Elara or Princess Elara, just Elara written in an elegant, unfamiliar hand. The sensible part of me screamed to walk away. This was exactly the sort of trap the queen would set: leave something with my name on it, tempt me to look, then have me caught red-handed. But my curiosity burned too fiercely. 3 years of constant belittlement and exclusion had made me desperate for answers. Why did they hate me so much? What had I done besides exist? Glancing nervously at the door, I pulled the drawer open further. Inside lay several letters bound with black ribbon. The one bearing my name was on top, unsealed, as if recently read. My hands trembled as I opened it. "My dearest daughter, Elara. If you are reading this, then circumstances have forced my hand. I have lived with the burden of our separation for 23 years, watching from afar as you grew into the remarkable woman I always knew you would become. The time has come for truth, though I fear it brings greater danger than the lies that have protected you thus far. You were born not to the merchant family of Saurian fishing villages, but to the royal house of Verdana. You are my firstborn child, Elara Dorian Verdana, rightful heir to the throne your uncle usurped. Your mother died hiding you from his assassins, and I entrusted you to loyal subjects who raised you as their own, far from court intrigue and danger. I had hoped to reclaim your birthright without revealing your identity, but events move too swiftly now. The marriage arranged between you and Prince Caden was no coincidence. I orchestrated it to place you back within the protection of royal walls before revealing the truth. Forgive an old man's machinations. I sought only to protect you until the moment was right. With deepest love and regret, your father, King Dorian Verdana." My jaws dropped open in shock. Elara's POV. My gaze remained fixed on the letter clenched in my trembling hands. The parchment, though finely crafted, quivered like a fragile leaf caught in a storm. I read it again, each word etching itself into my mind with unnerving finality. A princess. I was a princess. The words tasted foreign in my mouth like ash and gold at once. The daughter of King Dorian of Verdana. A lie I had never questioned unraveled itself before me in looping, royal script. "This can't be real," I whispered hoarsely, my voice nearly lost in the thick silence of the room. I scanned the letter once more, hoping some hidden line might refute the absurdity. My fingers clenched tighter, the letter crinkling under the pressure. "It's impossible." Yet even as I said it, the memories surged forward, fleeting, fragmented. My supposed father's vague murmurs about our unusual ties to the royal line. The quiet but lavish support that had appeared just in time to fund my education. And the marriage proposal, the inexplicable urgency with which the royal family had chosen me over the daughters of dukes and allies, far more politically suitable. "They knew," I whispered, the realization crashing into me like a rising tide breaking against the shore. My knees weakened beneath the weight of it all. All this time, they knew. I staggered back a step, my heart pounding in my chest. Did Caden know? Or was this a secret buried deep beneath layers even he hadn't unraveled? And if he didn't, why had I found this in his father's chambers? The sudden sound of the door creaking open behind me jolted me out of my thoughts. Panic surged. I shoved the letter into my bodice, the edges scraping against my skin, and spun around, already crafting an excuse. Caden stood there, tall and composed, his presence casting a shadow across the threshold. His expression flickered briefly surprise, suspicion, before his features arranged themselves into the familiar mask of composed royalty. "Elara," he said, voice steady but distant, "what are you doing in my father's chambers?" My pulse thundered in my ears. "Your mother sent me," I replied, gesturing stiffly toward the folio on the desk. "She needed these documents delivered." His gaze flicked to the desk, then back to me. "She sent you, not a page or attendant." "She was quite insistent," I offered with a strained smile. "You know how she enjoys assigning me trivial errands." Caden stepped inside, the door closing with a soft click behind him. His presence made the room feel suddenly smaller, the air heavier. "You shouldn't be here," he said tightly. "My father."